And we're going to start with some pretty shocking news here this morning. The bodyguards for Tom Brady and his wife Gisele just both sentenced to prison. Break this down for us here.
This story is so crazy. So their bodyguards have been sentenced to 5 years in prison after being convicted of attempted murder. That's a really big charge. Here's what happened back in 2009 on Gisele and Tom's wedding day in Costa Rica. Their bodyguards allegedly fired shots at photographers. Those photographers were trying to sneak pictures at the big event, and of course they were trying to keep it private. So neither of the photographers were injured. Gisele and Tom claim that they never even heard shots fired and that their security guards didn't have guns that day. But obviously, I mean, the judicial system thinks otherwise because they are both convicted and each are now facing 5 years in prison and have to pay $10,000 in retribution or in restitution to the photographers.
I had never even heard of this shooting at their wedding.
I'm like, this was back in 2009. I don't remember hearing anything about this, so they've really done a good job at kind of keeping it on the DL, I guess.
Oh my gosh.
It's crazy.
Their wedding day of all places.
Maybe
5
that was
years in
why.
prison.
Maybe that was why we didn't really hear about it, because they kind of wanted to keep the happiness around the wedding day and deal with this later.
My goodness,
pretty
there.
crazy.
Obviously, they were convicted. All right, more Real Housewives drama. Of course, that actually goes hand in hand.
Yes, of course, it definitely does, and this carries over to the courtroom as well. Teresa and Joe Giudice from Real Housewives of New Jersey were each indicted on 2 additional fraud charges on Monday. Now, back in July, you'll remember they were both indicted on 39 counts that include conspiracy to commit mail and wire fraud, bank fraud, making false statements on loan applications, and bankruptcy fraud. Joe also faces some additional charges for failure to file tax returns from 2004. So they're due back in court Wednesday, and a lot of people are kind of waiting to see what happens here because there's a lot of talk about Joe potentially just taking the brunt of it so that Teresa could kind of be declared free and stay home with the kids because they're facing jail time here.
Decades in prison there.
A lot.
And of course, they came out and denied all the charges, but if prosecutors continue to pile on more and more charges, there must be more evidence surfacing.
Exactly. So it's definitely a lot of Real Housewives fans are paying close attention to this to see what happens because it is a family and it's sad, especially for the kids.
Unbelievably. And you want to make sure everyone at home knows there is a star-studded movie hitting theaters.
Yes, Noah. The trailer for the movie Noah, based on the story of Noah and the Ark, has been released. It's already generating a ton of buzz. If you have not seen this trailer, head on over to the Face of Fox 30 Facebook page to check it out. A lot of people are talking about this movie, starring Russell Crowe, Anthony Hopkins, Emma Watson, among the few.
Trailers always get me excited. One of my favorite parts of going to the movies.
It really looks great.
Very cool, Sharon. All right, thank you. It's 8:19. Let's toss it over to Tom.